Oh, yeah, just like that. We are live once again. What's up, everybody? How are you doing today? I hope you've been having a great day here on Behance Land. I am DTM Delta Tango Mike. Find me anywhere on the internet under Delta Tango Mike. And this is a brand new show called DTM Versus. I don't know what should it be called. Should it be called DTM Versus Your Favorite Artist? Or should it be called DTM versus Adobe Live? And, I kind of like the sound of both of those because I'll tackle anybody. I don't care. I don't care. I'm ready for a battle. I hope you guys have been excited about today. Thank you, Annika, for the welcome. And thank you, everybody, for joining us on the chat. Yes, yes, yes. You guys are cool. You guys are awesome. Starting with Katarina, Steve, Oliver, and Clever. Clever says, fight, fight, fight. Gareth in the house. What's up? And Steve on deck already. Hey, Ray, how you doing? Ray says, iPad pencils at the ready. That is right. That's how we're going to do it today. All right. So before we go any further, I want to talk about what is it that we're drawing today before I introduce the artist. So I challenged Odari to a battle. He agreed, and then he presented three sketches that are above on the top row. And you'll see one was an elephant, the other one was a boat, and then a mushroom with a snail on it. And so I was like, oh, that's very interesting. Like, that's not some of the things that we normally draw. And so what I decided to do was to draw a counterpart to each one of those themes. And then once I had those themes ready and drawn, we posted them all over the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and even our Discord and asked people to vote. The votes came in. It was a very tough battle to see which theme we were going to go with. But what's really interesting is that all of those three things are not something that we usually draw, except for the animals. I do draw a lot of gorillas and animals. So we put it out to vote. People voted, and then no Star Wars, says Oliver. Oliver's asking, no Star Wars. I'm a little Odari answer that, like, because I expected to see some Star Wars themes in it. So, but what was really interesting is these are things that we don't normally draw. So I was like, you know what? This is a good challenge. It's a good challenge. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but let's go ahead and bring in Odari on deck. What's up, Odari? How are you doing today? Give him an applause, everybody.
Bring,
Step,
bring it over.
stepping into the arena, we have Odari.
What's up, y'all?
Hey,
This
Misty.
battle was overdue.
Yes, it's
Overdue.
overdue. Let's do this. And so I think that was a good question by Clever. Is it Clever who? No. Steve. Steve said no. He says Star Wars. That was funny. Oliver says no Star Wars. That was his question by Oliver. What's up with that, Odari? Why was there no Star Wars in your one of the three themes?
I draw Star Wars every week. It's like, tell me something different.
Right.
To let y'all know I can do more than Star Wars.
Right.
You know?
Right. There you go. And this is like a good challenge to flex our muscles and like, I can do this. All right. So for the next hour, you're going to see us go through the drawings, go through the process, explain a little bit of the process. And before the hour is over, you're going to have a chance to vote. So Annika, please, as the moderator, set up a voting poll, and that will be ready by 10 to 15 minutes before the hour, so that people get a chance to vote on their favorite drawing. And I'm going to switch over to our art only. So let's go ahead, open up our Adobe Fresco. There it is. There is nothing on the screen. And as a reminder, the theme for today, the theme that won the votes and got us going, is miniature nature. Miniature nature. That's what we're going with right now. So go ahead. We're starting from a fresh, blank artboard, and we're gonna start drawing now. Thank you, Annika. There it is. That's what I was looking for. So this is my screen, and this is Odari's screen. Go ahead, Odari, get started and tell us a little bit about your process when starting a drawing from scratch, like we did with miniature nature, featuring a snail and a mushroom.
Well, basically, I usually start with the pencil tool. Like, I'm really drawing on pencil and paper. That's just art is the way, like that for me. So Um, I use line and shape to create the sketch. Then I add the details later, like so.
Mm-hmm.
Mushroom. It's kind of a triangle type thing.
Right.
You know, you can't make anything without the shape first. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I like starting with shapes because it helps you with composition. It helps you with proportion. It is it's something that you wanna take your time with before you go into details. Ray says blank screens sharpen your Apple pencils. That's right, sharpen your Apple pencils. Ah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Hey, Jack. Welcome to the stream. Fabio, welcome to the stream. Please, y'all feel free to drop some comments in the chat so that we can see you. And yes, the sharpen your Apple pencils. And mine has a skin on it, so it looks like an actual pencil. Boom. And as Odari is drawing his sketch, when he showed off that snail and a mushroom. I love mushrooms. I don't like snails, but I love mushrooms. It put me on a path to figure out what kind of miniature nature art that I want to create. And so I wanted to include mushrooms. There's the mushrooms on my sketch. Boom. I wanted to do some flowers. I wasn't sure what kind of flower. I did have this idea about lilies. And then a butterfly, some kind of peaceful field of lilies, some a butterfly hanging out, and then boom, some mushrooms. And Oliver says, I like mushrooms. I like snails and mushrooms. Okay. Nice. I like mushrooms. I don't care how you cook them. I love mushrooms. But snails.
I like snails. They're not bad.
What?
Yep.
And
escargot is what it's called. Escargot.
oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
pretty good.
That's what they must eat in Star Wars world. And Derek says, this is dope. We should do this more. Yes, every 2 weeks you're gonna see me battle against a different artist. I do have a list of artists, and I'm calling them your favorite artists, whether you know them or not. I'm calling them your favorite artists because I'm the one who's challenging all these artists out there, and eventually I'll get to start challenging all the Adobe Live artists. That's what I want. One day I'm just taking them on. Boom. That would be like a hardcore weekend of battles, like nonstop live stream. That would be insane. Yes, like a week leading up into Adobe Max, and I'm just taking everybody down. Boom. That's right.
Oh my god!
You can show us your sketch, Odari, if you want to drop it in there. Do you have it on your iPad?
Don't know.
No. Okay. I brought my sketch in into Adobe Fresco, and basically what I like about Adobe Fresco is that on the left hand side you can click on your photos and you can select photos either from your photo album, or what I like to do is photos from my files. And man, the cloud is amazing because it says Cloud Drive right here, but also have Dropbox. I use Dropbox, so I can go into my folders on Dropbox, go through the different locations in my cloud documents and with Dropbox, and find, there it is, DTM versus folder, the art challenge. There's Odari, and I can find the sketches that he sent me. There it goes, miniature nature. Just like that. Boom. And there it is. And there's the Odari sketch, which I thought was really cool. It was a really cool idea, especially since that's like not something that I normally draw. I'm not much into drawing nature. I like drawing people. That's my thing. And Odari does too. And that's why I thought there would be a good competition with each other. And Fabio says DTM doesn't like snails because they can't hold pencils.
Oh my god!
They can't hold pencils. Oh man, for real. The savagery, says Derek. And so
I did have it in my computer after all.
Oh yeah, so there it is. Boom. And so you did that, and that's a picture of a drawing on paper, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
I still like that traditional drawing. Anybody out there in the chat, please let us know, how do you like to start your drawings? Do you like start your sketches in traditional with paper and pencils, or do you like to jump in digital already with the sketching and drawing? I myself, depends on the mood. It depends on the mood I'm in and what I got going on. Hey, Ajia, welcome to the stream. So, this is what I decided to do with my drawing today, and we're gonna find out from Odari's perspective what were his main tools and brushes. I decided to try something different. I'm usually a vector artist who likes to use vector brushes. I do the sketching with a pencil brush in Fresco, but then I get into the vector brushes for my final artwork and rendering of the design. I like that because then I can export that into Illustrator, have the option to expand the artwork to whatever size I want, and it still looks sharp and clean. Odari, what was your focus and with the workflow of this drawing?
Well, pretty much I didn't know where I wanted to start with. I knew I wanted to do the mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
After I looked up certain mushrooms, I kind of feel like I didn't want it to look generic. So when I found my mushrooms, I started looking for different snails. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of snails. And I just put the two together, and I went for the sketching part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually sketch with the pencil brush, and then I'll use my vector to outline.
Gotcha.
And my favorite vector brush is the taper brush.
The taper brush. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I use that brush through most of the drawing process for my outline. So, and then right after the outline, I drop the color. I've been you take a color and you multiply it and you erase, and you got two different colors. I've been doing that. Yeah, and as much detail as possible.
Oh, okay.
So
throw in so much detail. Nice. So after the sketch, it was into vector. And Derek says, I'm usually starting with traditional, then into digital, but trying to get more into everything digital. Yes. Because when you're looking at the brushes and Fresco, and you look at all the different available brushes for your pixel brushes, it's crazy looking at this list. It's like, doesn't matter which kind of tool you like, you'll find something that fits your style, and boom, you're right there. Now, my favorite ones when it comes to pixel brushes is the basic pencil and the pencil soft canvas. I don't know what that means or what it's about, but let me go ahead and add a new layer here. Boom, I got a color. Bam, and I can start working on my, there it is, look at that. I do like this, brushes like this where it looks a little rough, because that's how paper, and Annika says, it's crazy. I do like checking out some of these brushes because the way they draw is similar to how what would happen in traditional art is that sometimes the paper is not consistent all the way through the whole page. Sometimes as you're sketching and drawing on the paper, you cause indentations in the paper. You mash in the paper a little bit. If you erase it too rough, then you're peeling away a layer of the paper. I like cold press type paper. And so that is when, your art drawing will have a bit of different consistencies. Boom. And so when you have a brush that kind of gives you a little inconsistent looks and feels to your brushes, then that's where it's like, why not? Let's try that out. Boom. And that kind of is exciting for me because most of the time I'm drawing with a vector where it's that clean, sharp drawing. Let's go ahead and take a look at Odari. There he goes, drawing. Boom. And Odari is like a drawing machine. He's just adding the strokes in there. Wham, bam.
Yeah, I decided not to use my original sketch. I'm just redrawing.
You're drawing. Okay. Ray says it's mind blowing. Yes, it is. Steve says I start with sticks, mud, and clay.
Oh my
Listen, if you're a creative person and can have the creativity to try things out, a stick in some mud will be something. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, something.
Hey.
That's something. Annika says, yeah, that was so quick. Looking at Odari's sketch and drawing, it says, DTM better buckle up in this battle. I take anybody. Welcome to the folks joining us on the Discord. We do have a Discord. It's the Sketching and Drawing Discord, and they get an inside look at drawing behind the scenes and video of us. Boom. So Steve, so there is asking Steve about ZBrush. Cool. All right, so as Odari is working on that, let me go ahead and show my screen. Odari, if you want to switch drawings, you can, and then that way you have a other layers to work with if you want. I should have told you about that. Yeah, and then that way, just work on a different layer that a new layer that just shows part of the process. Because this show is only an hour. There we go. Trying to, and so we gotta do like a Martha Stewart thing. Now, if in our Discord we have amazing artists hanging out with us, and this artist did a drawing of a butterfly, and I love the flowy lines that they put on their drawing, and so I wanted to have some of those on mine too, like that. Boom. And so right now I am using that pencil soft canvas. Most of the time I use the pencil for my outlines, and so let me go ahead and just turn this off and show you my butterfly sketch. That wasn't it. Let's go here. Boom, bam, there we go. And so I added embellished a lot in this butterfly, because when I first drew the butterfly I thought, okay, well, that's a butterfly. And then I was looking at some of the techniques that Helena, her name is Helena, used where her butterflies like, oh, I like that. Let me try and incorporate some of those ideas. And boom, I just added a whole bunch of little wispy lines here. Like, oh yeah, I need to turn. Oh, there we go. Boom, there we go. And what I like about some of these brushes, especially like this pencil brush, you can always change the opacity or the flow of your the flow of your pencil so that it has more of the grainy look. And you can also change the size of your pencil so that you have a thicker line. Not only that, if you lay the pencil sideways, look, you can kind of get like that shading, thick shading on your drawing. And that's what I did here. I did a lot of thick shading in this area for the second wing, and a little bit of shading as the wing moves up away from the body of the butterfly. Let's go ahead and take a look at Odari over here. Boom, using the vector brush. There it is, looking good. Yes, sir. And so, did you look up some mushrooms when you were drawing those mushrooms, or you just went at it and say, what's up?
I did look up some mushrooms. Because I know they're all, every time you see like a cartoon mushroom, they all don't look like that. So it's like, I need to explore. So the big fat head piece, I like that, the head of the mushroom. And I saw different styles of the mushrooms. Like these two, they're different. You know, one's kind of leaning to the side, chilling, while this guy's sitting straight up. So
yeah, that's right. One looks like it's kind of hanging off to the side.
Yeah.
Bigger.
I just wanted it to look a little different, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to go overboard with too many mushrooms. So two is good.
Right. No, two is good. Jeff joining us on YouTube. Welcome, Jeff. And anybody else watching this on YouTube, leave a comment in the chat so that we know that you are here. Give you a shout out. And do know that Adobe Live has a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to and tune in if you prefer the YouTube as a way to connect with the Behance streams. Bam. And you can always watch all of these streams on Behance itself, behance.net. Boom. SLP Price in the house. Welcome, SLP Price. So yeah, we're taking a look at what Odari is doing right there. Let me go ahead and switch to the screens only so that I can slowly bring in a couple of my layers into the drawing. And so I'm gonna turn off my butterfly and show you a bit about what I had to do. Let me see, for these lilies. So I looked up some lilies, and I drew one of them, and then after that I kind of just duplicated the layers. I just duplicated the layers so that I can get the lilies in there. Boom. And it's not that I want all the lilies to look alike. It's just that, or that I'm too lazy, is that I needed the lilies as a, let me see, can we do this? As a way to get the field going. The one thing that is sometimes a little bit unnerving, I don't know about you, Dari can tell us what he feels about it, but when you're looking at a blank page, sometimes you're like, well, I don't know what's going to happen here. Boom, bam, bam, there we go. Oh, yeah, the butterfly is rocking, says Steve. What's up, Steve? Boom, here we go. And there it is, Odari's going in on the details. Gotta have the little, what do you call those spots? Gotta have some spots.
Mushroom foot.
The fungus. Bam. Question from Ray. Annika is sharing a question from Ray. Do you use a cover for your iPad or any Apple Pencil tips to protect them? That's a good question. And Annika, I just saw that comment. Thank you. OMG, that butterfly was cool. Thank you. Odari, do you use a cover for your iPad, or do you have any Apple Pencil tips on your pencil to protect the screen?
I do have the skin that goes on top of the Apple the iPad, the protective skin. And I also I do have my iPad inside. It's personal. I mean, a lot of people don't use the covers. I do, to keep everything clean and protected. And the only thing with the pencil is I got this the Apple skin. You have one of these, right, Dan? I think I got that idea from you. Yeah, I got 2 Apple pencils with the same kind of skin on it. That protects that, and it sticks. So it keeps it from getting greasy or whatever if you're touching things.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. I was going to mention that too when we were talking about the snails, is that I don't want any snails touching my pencils, because then it's going to leave it sticky. I wash my hands 100 times a day, and just because I want all my drawing stuff to be clean, really clean and dry. Water and oil is not good. But to go back to the question from Ray, I used to get the screen protector on the iPad because I wanted to get more of that, how do you say, grip on the screen, right? And so that was one of those things that I used to do with my iPad and the Surface. And I also bought these little rubber tips that go on the pencil, so that way I can get that kind of grip and get a feel between the surface of the screen and the pencil, like a grip. Get a little grip when I'm drawing. But as time's gone on, I gotten used to the hardness of the tip of the pencil. I got used to the sleekness of the screen, and now I don't have any screen protectors on my iPad or the Surface, on any device. Zero screen protectors. It's straight up the way it is. It does take a little getting used to after not picking up a Surface for a week or two. Sometimes it takes getting used to come back to the iPad, but still, I kind of like the feel of the device. And it's also easier on the hands. The less drag you have, it's easier on your hand. You don't have to push or pull with your pencil too strong, too hard with it. And it helps if you're sitting at a table, kind of like the way Odari is, leaning over his drawing, and then letting gravity take over some of the brush strokes just right when you're drawing. So it's a combination of things that as time goes on, you'll get more and more used to. But when I draw while I'm in the bed or the couch, you do get that achiness in your hands because now you're at a different angle. You're leaning back. You're holding up the iPad with one hand. You're drawing with the other hand, and you're drawing like in space upside down. And so that adds a little extra stress. Yes. Annika says, me too, DTN. That's right. You wash your hands 100 times a day. I got to, like, no matter if I touch my face, I touch my head, my beard, and I gotta go wash my hands now because I don't want any oil. Steve says, I love that snail. And good job. Look at that. Boom. And Steve also says, tulips are nice. Yeah, so my technique for my tulips, let me switch over to my screen. The technique for my tulips was to draw one tulip and then kind of duplicate it over and over and over all over the place so that I can get a nice little field going on. And there's some pieces missing here. Let me see. Let me turn that on. And so there we go. There it is. There we go. Boom. And so then what I decided to do was, once I had the field of tulips ready, I also did the background, which is the actual grass and the blades of grass or something. And my technique for that was to first get the gradient on the field. So let me turn that off and go back into my layers. Boom, there it is. It's a field of shadow, of shading. And yes, Annika says, so weird seeing DTN drawing pixel brushes. Yes. And let me tell you something. Okay. For the longest, I started my drawing passion with pencils. So pencils and paper is my first love. So it felt really good to work with pixel brushes only, and with an Adobe Fresco, because that's my main thing. Oh, I love it, but it is a little weird since I am mostly vector. So then once I did the shading and drawing the field a little bit, what I did was added some more blades of grass by adding just a white pencil brush to create some blades of grass. Then I duplicated the original field and then offset it. I think it should be offset. And if it's not offset, I'll do it now. Look, there we go. Just kind of offset it a little bit. Continue. And then I duplicated the blades of grass, and I think I flipped it. I flipped by using the transform tool and using the flipper right there. Boom. Yeah, there you go. Flip it. Got it. And so now that kind of gave me the feeling of there's a field of grass here. And one thing that I've noticed a lot by watching other artists like Odari, let me go switch over to what Odari is doing. He's checking his sketch, is that your drawing, your final drawing, your final rendering, it is you're looking through layers and layers that are built on each other. And that's how you get the drawing to look how you want it to look. And that was my issue when I first got into digital drawing, is that I felt like I was doing, like I should have been doing a color by the numbers. There's an area, you fill that in. There's another area, fill it in with another color. And I would look at my drawings and like, that doesn't look like what these other artists are doing. And so I had to go back to traditional world, look at painters and how they paint the layers of paint, whether it's acrylic or oils or watercolors. And then you're like, oh, that's right. So back in digital, I said, why don't I start layering things? And that's what I did with this drawing right here. I started layering things like, yeah, I think I can do that. And as you layer things, you also have different opacity. See, look, the opacity is I change it so that I can get, some just a hint of something and not something that's really in your face. Boom. And so that was my technique for that. And once I got the layer the way I wanted it, what I like to do sometimes with some of these layers is that I want to keep experimenting. And so I will duplicate this layer that has a group. I'll duplicate that layer group. And then I'll take that layer group, the duplicate version, and merge it. And then turn off the layer group that still is separated. So then I can continue to do more to this layer. And if I don't like something that I'm doing, I can go back to the multi-layer group and say, okay, let me grab you again and start over again. I don't like undo. I don't do the undo. What I like to do is leave a trail of stuff, like in a game. Isn't that like in a game where you have a saved point? Yeah. That's what I like. Go back to the last saved point. So there's my layer. Boom. And so I like this. I'm cool with this. And let me go ahead and show you my mushrooms as Odari. Let me see what Odari is at with the mushrooms. Going in with the color. Going in with the color. Yeah. There it is. Boom. Look at that. Nice. And I thought about doing some colors. But you guys gonna see. You guys let me know what you think, if it was a good choice or not. And yeah. And in 10 minutes we're gonna show off our final drawings so that you can vote on it. So boom, here we go. Bam. So I did the mushrooms, right? I did look up a drawing. Let me go ahead and save. Don't forget to save, Odari. Make sure you're saving. I did look up a picture of a tree with mushrooms, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's what I'm gonna do. And so this tree right here is a combination of a couple of layers, and I don't know what happened to those layers. I think I got rid of it. Yeah, I did not follow my own advice during this the tree. So what I did is I used a pencil to draw and draw the tree, draw the mushrooms, and get the shading in. But then after that, what I did was I used the white pencil to then add in some of these extra highlights. Look. And so right now I have a very light pencil. As you remember the flow, there's a flow slider and a size slider. And my pencil is the regular pencil. You can try other different pencils by going through the sketching selection of the pixel brushes, and there's a ton of stuff in there you can try out. And after you like one brush in particular, you put a star on it so that it shows up in your favorites. Bam. And so then look, boom, I can sit here and play around with the way the light and darkness looks.
That looks good.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you can still get a pencil, the eraser, and check your eraser. There's a lot of eraser settings. I want the sound variable, soft round variable. There we go. Boom, look at that. Oh yeah, give me my pencil, get back that black color, and maybe I can go like this. And this is just a ton of layers all together. Except that I already turned these several layers into one layer, so we're done. We're done with that. And I notice here, this needs to get erased right here. Oh, it was erased. So then, because that's the edge of the tree and an edge of the stem of the mushroom. There you go. Yes, that's right. That's right. Let me see what Odari's got. Odari's going in on the color on some delicious mushrooms. I got the grill ready, bro. Let's go ahead.
Now, duplicate layer, multiply.
There we go. Let's see. So duplicate that color layer, multiply.
And going to erase the top layer.
You're gonna get your eraser. Boom. And there's your highlight.
Beautiful.
I like it. Boom. There it goes. And do you ever adjust your brushes?
I do sometimes. But I try to fight with the pressure dynamics with my own hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Go with the. Ray says, "I'm hungry." There you go, Ray. Ray wants a helping of mushrooms. Where y'all, what y'all, how y'all eat your mushrooms? Yeah, please leave it in the chat. Let us know. I like to chop up some mushrooms and put it in with my breakfast. Yes.
It's your breakfast.
Breakfast, man, and scrambled eggs or with an omelet. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Or if you're gonna do lunch, skewers with some peppers, onions. Ah, gotta make me go out and get some food. Mushrooms and snails. Not sure about that combination, says Ray. Annika says, I don't. Annika, you don't eat mushrooms? What? What else you don't eat, Annika? There are some weird people like that they don't eat, like avocados, or grapes or oranges. No. What is it? Strawberries, but they eat strawberry ice cream. You know. And Steve says mushrooms piled on a big steak. Ah, yes, that's right.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yes, sir.
So Odari, if you want to switch to your other drawing, you can, and take us to another layer of your process. So I'm gonna go in and show you what happened once I started to add my tulips. Boom, there goes the tulips. And what I decided to do was to draw. Let me see. That's not the one. This is the one. Let me see. Where is it? I got a lot of layers here. What happened? There it goes. That's one set of tulips. What about that one? This is the one. No, that can't be the one. It has to be. Turn it off. This is the one. And so I have all my tulips. Everything is in there. And I was like, that's cool. Now, but what I did with these tulips is that there's just the brush strokes, right? Just a lot of brush strokes. And I wanted the tulips to really have a stronger shadow. And so I redrew all the tulips again. I did another layer. Let me see. This one. Boom. Is that it? No, that's not it. Where did it go? I had a tulips layer. Let me see. And this one is, oh, there it is. Yeah. That's what happened. So I drew the tulips. I did a dark, there it is. Opacity, a lower opacity on a duplicate layer. Then I created a HSB layer. Let's turn that on. Boom. So that kind of gave everything a sepia tone. I don't know how to say sepia or sepia. I don't know how you guys say it, but that's what happened. And I can change the layer opacity. Look at that. Boom. There we go. And I still have this one. And oh, I think this is what it is. It's right here. Ah, there it is. That's it. So let me go into this folder. This is what I wanted to show you guys. See, in here, let me turn off everything. There it is. In here, I have a flat version. So there we go. Boom, there it is. Let me go ahead and show you. Because I have a process, and then I forget some of the extra moves, especially since I'm working with pixels. Clever says yes to the mushrooms on a steak. Steve says, or in a burger. Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, so there's the original sketch and drawings of the tulips, and I kind of just threw them all everywhere where I could, and I try to make them smaller as the further back they were. Then I created a whole nother layer where I outlined them. See, this layer is just the outline. So when I did the outline, it gave the sketchy tulips a stronger look. You see that? Boom. Bam. Yes. And they're all red in my field. This field, it has all red tulips. I noticed, I looked it up, and there's different colors. And then I added a white highlight, boom, to the tulips. You see that? And the reason why I wanted to do this in layers like this is because I want to be able to then turn down the opacity on some things. There's the multiply on that second layer. And so it helps to then have different elements and different details on different layers so that you can play around with your transparency and opacity to get the look that you want. And there goes Odari. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm saving the best for last of mine. And get ready to start your votes in a little bit. Let's see. Yes, in 5 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. I like the little detail of the shadows under the mushroom cloud. Yeah, the mushroom hood. Word. Look at that.
Yeah.
Those are some
I
mean
couldn't
mushrooms.
decide. I couldn't decide what color I wanted, so I did 3 different versions of the mushroom colors. So these two guys are 2 different colors. I thought that was cool, so I kept that.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the purple one, but it
Mm-hmm.
was too purple. And all I did was copy and duplicated my layers, and I changed the colors on them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want that. So let me show you an example. Let me turn these guys back on.
Boom.
So I got 4 layers going on here. I started with the base color first, this color, and then turn that off for a second. These are the multiplied colors here.
Mm-hmm.
That yellow piece.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be helpful if I turn that blue off. Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, oh, that looks like fire.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was all those lines. I just messed around with the brush and just made scattered noises in there, as I call it.
Mm-hmm.
On my scratches, my cutting and scratching.
Cutting and scratching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my dots. So, but you can see in the grass how that yellow color turns into a dark green.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's because I multiplied the color.
Open up the properties tab. There you go, so we can see. So, and then tap on the layer. There's on multiply. Yep, that's multiply.
Multiply. See what looks normal.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See, that's normal. But I wanted that effect, so more so. Because the background layer, when you turn that on, it gives that effect.
Right. Yes.
Because like that top yellow layer is absorbing that color in the background, and you're getting this other orange kind of color. But that's actually yellow.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep. Yeah, same thing with this guy here.
That is crazy.
Yeah, this man.
It looks like they got muscles. These mushrooms have muscles. Ray says, I hope you have something good up your sleeve, DTM. I do, Ray. I do. And Steve says the snail has racing stripes. We haven't even looked at the snail, but there it goes.
Yeah,
look at it.
That's the jitter brush right there. I went to town with the jitter brush. I couldn't help it. So same thing with that. The background, the lighter jitter effect, I multiplied that. But I think that actually that's the same color. So, the wrong thing here. Here we go. That's normal. Actually, they're both normal. I just took the opacity out of it. Okay.
And
just the snail itself, I just use some scratch methods with my brush. That's nothing special with that, but it looks great.
Nice. Oliver says loving this, and Jeff on YouTube says you two are the masters. That's right. But only one of us can win. Okay, 2 more minutes before the voting starts, and let me show you guys a little bit more about my drawing. So we have the mushrooms on the right, we have the field of tulips on the left, and now I want to bring in my butterfly. And so when I dropped the butterfly in, I was like, yeah, it's kind of getting lost, which is why I added this HSB edit layer to it, so I can tone down some of that opacity on from the tulips. So let me turn down that opacity a little bit right there. Boom. And because I wanted to add color, but I didn't want it to be like like the normal vector drawings like Odari is doing, because that's what I do all the time. This is a technique that Odari and I use all the time. We even started a NFT collection and sharpened up our vector drawing with Adobe Fresco by using some of these techniques. So make sure you check out Odari streams on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays on Behance. So So what I said is like, okay, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna make this different? How am I gonna change this in a way that is outside of my regular? And that's when I decided that I was going to add some watercolors. I don't draw with watercolors. I'm not good at it. I own watercolor tools, watercolor brushes, and the little things, whatever you call those, a little bit of the color. And so it's time to reveal. Boom. Odari, get ready to reveal. So there it is, my butterfly with watercolors. And if I turn off the layer of the pencil brush, there it is. Boom. And then I said, well, I need some more color all around. Let me go ahead and do more color all around. Bam. That's the little color that I added all over the place. And for the last thing that I'm going to do on this drawing is get the pencil, get the white color, and we're going to sign this. There we go. Put in the 2023. Got it. Signed it. Bam. And there is my drawing. Let's look at Odari's final artwork. Is that the final artwork, Odari?
That is the final artwork. Yes, sir.
I just says watercolors, love it. Steve says, wow. Okay, let me see your signature. I like that little signature down there. What is that?
It's just something I put together.
Looks good. I like it. That's neat.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like when I stream, I sign my name traditionally like I do, but when I'm complete, when I'm done, I put this brand on there. So that looks cool to me. I love that.
Nice, nice. Clever says, slapow, kabla boom. Bam! Let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork. This is the shot of the artwork. On the left, you have my artwork. On the right, you have Odari Art's artwork. And Annika says, please go vote. There is a straw poll link in the description, in the chat. Go ahead and click on it. And if you are on YouTube, click on the link. If you are in Behance, click on the link. This is it. This is where you get a chance to show us which drawing you like the most, which one you like the best, who wins the battle. Odari, you can click on the link too if you want to. All right, our battle. Whose painting do you like the most? Boom, make a choice. DTN's painting or Odari's painting? I'm going to vote for myself because I like it. Okay, vote successful. Let me see my results. Give it a few minutes. Oh my gosh! Odari has all the votes going on right now. Yeah, this is your turn to vote on your favorite drawing. And while we get that going right now, I do want to share a little bit about what's coming up next. My next contender, his name is the Mad Penciler, and he has shared. Fabio says, "Can I vote for both?" Annika says, "No, you can only vote for one." Steve says, "Yes, tie." So the next artist that I have coming up in the art battle is, his name is the Mad Penciler, and I'm showing his drawing right now. So he sent me 4 drawings, and I have to accept the challenge. Either a dinosaur, or the eye, or mouth. And I don't want to do mouth, but I'll do eye. Oh, maybe I could do mouth. I don't know. Hands. Oh, he wants to challenge me for a draw off of hands or even a robot. So what's going to happen is that in the next few days on my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, somewhere, you'll see the chance to vote on the next theme that we get to battle on. Boom. So there it is. Odari's drawing. Fabio says, it's like choosing your favorite child. It's cruel. Yes. And so thank you, Annika. Yes, I was showing off some of the artwork for next 2 weeks. That's when we come back and I battle somebody else, because this is called DTM versus. This show is DTM versus either your favorite artist or Adobe Live. I want to grow it into DTM versus Adobe Live. In any case, Odari 9, DTM 4. Oh my gosh. What? What? Oh my goodness. Wow.
This is the way. This is the way. Come on now.
This is the way.
This is the way.
And there's a look into my drawing again. I went all in on the watercolor. I thought it was a cool idea to try some watercolors. I'm not good at it. I don't know what I was doing, but I thought it looked all right. And when I turned off the layers where the butterfly drawing was in, it's like that looks kind of awesome too by itself like that. So yes, I'm very happy about how this turned out. Whether it wins or not, I'm okay with it. And so the voting is still open for 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. In the meantime, Odari, tell us a little bit about your art and what is it that you do?
I am a character designer. Also, I like doing poster design. I'm an 80s kid. I grew up watching my sci-fi stuff. Let me see if I got some stuff in here. An example or something. I enjoy creating characters mostly, like character development type. This is Odari Yonanes right here. If he opens up.
Yeah, it's gotta come from the cloud. It's gotta sync to the cloud, come back from the cloud, all that. And SLP Price says, "Cool guys, great stream." Steve says, "Awesome." Uma Corn says, "Do like both as well." Oliver says, "I love that both drawings had mushrooms and mini beasts." That's right. They're mini beasts. And as that your drawings pops in, let me go ahead and click and see. 10 votes for Odari, 5 for me. Oh man. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
That's Voodoo Val. Empress Palpatine, as she likes to be called. Yeah, so I had a segment where I was drawing all the streamers as Star Wars characters, and this one's one of my favorites because I like purple. But yeah, the background I used the Wamba program. It's like an AI program. Nice. So I wanted a little abstract looking background or whatnot, but I did the same process I did with the snails. What I did with this, But it's all about character design with me. I like creating different comic booky type characters or science fiction. That's where most of my ideas come from and stuff like that. I watch a lot of cartoons, a lot. I watch a lot of. That's most of my day is watching Star Wars and cartoons. Nice. And I come up with fantastic stuff like this. So. Yeah, and the Mandalorian wristband, she got a kick out of that.
There you go. Oh, Oliver says, there we go. Odari's got to get some Star Wars in there. Love the hair, says Derek. And Steve says, Val. Okay, we are going to call it. Annika has called it. Odari is the winner. He won the art battle today. Let's go back to the drawings, Odari. Let's go back to the drawing. It is 10 votes to 5. In the art battle on whose painting do you like the most. 10 votes for Odari, 6 votes for me. Oh, somebody came in and won. 11 to 6, and it's still a long ways to go. Thank you everybody for voting. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us and sharing in of the fun. We had a good time. Thank you Odari for hanging out with me and drawing live on Behance. You are super talented.
So are you.
We all are. Stay tuned for more art battles with DTM versus your favorite artists here on Behance. Make sure you check out Odari. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or just follow him here on Behance and check out all his amazing character art. We love drawing with Adobe Fresco. We love drawing with vector brushes. Oh, yeah, and I'm wearing the same sweatshirt he's wearing right now. Look. Boom. Bam.
He's a fan. He can't deny it.
That is all. Annika says, thanks for joining. Thank you, Katarina. Thank you, Umacorn, Steve, Ray, Oliver, Jack. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for hanging out. Jeff, I appreciate you. Thank you to Annika for setting up the poll and keeping the chat alive for all of us. Misty, Derek, Ray, Axel, in the house. Fabio, Clever, SLP Price. All of you are all super awesome. Angelica, appreciate you stopping through. I am DTM DeltaTangoMike. That is Odari. This is the DTM versus your favorite artist. There we go. Boom. Odari Art versus DTM and Fresco Art Battle. And we'll be back with more stuff soon. So appreciate y'all hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. Download Adobe Fresco. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. And see what you think about it. What do you say about Adobe Fresco, Odari? Last words.
It's amazing. I love Adobe Fresco. I can't stop using it. It's addictive.
There you go. It's addictive. That's right. Thank you, Robzilla in the house. He says lurking. Thank you, Danette. And we'll catch you at the next art battle. Get ready for more. Yeah.